What's up, YouTube? It's your boy RushMoreRick. We're back with another reaction video. Today we have Why People Don't Like Body Positivity and Fat Acceptance by Amir Odom. Boom. I want to preface this by saying I don't think people don't like body positivity or fat acceptance. It's just I can't speak for everybody, but I can only speak for myself. I don't like how we're trying to make it okay. I don't like how, like, some people are actively knowing that they're shortening their lifespans. They're actively living unhealthy lifestyles. They're actively, you know what I'm saying, keeping themselves in a obese state, keeping themselves in a state that where your life is not, you know what I'm saying, you're not a healthy human being. You're not a healthy individual. And granted, to be honest, I don't really care because it ain't me, it ain't my life. But it's just that these are the messages that they're portraying to people across the world. They're portraying to the youth. You got younger people growing up thinking that it's okay to eat bullshit, to be unhealthy, to not be active, to be okay with being obese, to be okay with being overweight. When that's reality, that's not the case. It shouldn't be the case. But enough rambling from me. Let's tap in. Let's see what we got. It's already a long video.
I don't encourage weight loss.
I was too big to get on the plane.
I can anybody on the street.
From Jillian Michaels' surrounded episode on Jubilee to Southwest facing backlash for discriminating against people, in this video we'll be going through it all and talking about why so many people are against body positivity and the whole fat acceptance movement. And off the bat, let this be a reminder that you're not alone for thinking the way that you do. If you like real, honest commentary like this, then be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. And let's get right into this video.
I'm gonna do my best to not use the O word because I find it
Obese? Is that the O word? And see, look, and something like this go hand in hand with you want body positivity, you want fat acceptance, but you don't want to use terminology that was literally created to describe your people, to describe the things that you're doing to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be fat and you insensitive. To me in my mind, I don't understand how that's a thing. How can you be fat and sensitive? Like, you got to be fat and funny. You got to be fat and be able to understand a joke. You got to be fat and be able to understand, like, this is what I'm going to say to have a conversation with you. Like, let's be mature. You mature enough to be stuck in your ways and be fat. Let's be mature enough to, you know what I'm saying, use the proper terminology when we're discussing your current state of your life. Like,
pretty offensive. So I'm going to use fat body.
You're an eating disorder therapist and you refuse to say the O word, which she's talking about obese, and you prefer to use the term fat bodied. That sounds more offensive than anything. I feel like
100%.
What this interaction really sets up and what it really highlights is how coddled we are treating people in society and how we're trying to be so nice, so empathetic. Oh, we can't say this, can't say that. That's a part of the problem. Refusing to say the words obese from a food therapist because you don't want to hurt somebody or you think it's a slur, that's a problem in itself. I feel like as a society, we've grown to be just way too empathetic. We're way too nice, way too kind. Not to say that I want everything to be evil or bad, but damn, when you get to a point where you're just so like fake nice, it gets a little off.
And I 100% agree with that. We're too nice. We're too empathetic. And I don't think it's nothing wrong with empathy. I don't think it's nothing wrong with being nice, but it gets to a point where it's like we're not telling the truth. We're not being honest. We're walking on eggshells with people that they honestly deserve to hear the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean when you're speaking the truth that you got to be rude. There's ways to speak the truth. You can be polite. You can be nice. You can, you know what I'm saying, show that you have some type of decorum, some type of manners, yes. But at the same time, we're pushing honesty like way out of the picture, as opposed to we want to make sure that your feelings are intact. So we're not going to tell you what you need to hear. We're going to tell you what you want to hear. We're going to coddle your lifestyle. We're going to tell you that nothing that you've done to yourself is detrimental at all. What you're doing with your life is perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with you. Meanwhile, you're 50 to 100 pounds overweight. You're borderline diabetic. You're borderline obese, if you're not already there. And I don't want people to think that this is just like a weight issue. This whole society being too empathetic and being too nice and not telling the truth and just coddling. That goes for every major aspect. We do this with the fat people. We do this with the LGBTQ people. We do this with straight people. We do this with black people. We do this with white people. It's like everybody wants the world to just coddle to them when that's not the reality of life. In my opinion, it's not the reality of life. That's not how you should want to live. You should not want to live with not hearing nothing negative about what you're doing, because that means in your eyes you can't do no wrong. If everybody in society is just constantly, you know what I'm saying, giving you a tap on the shoulder and telling you you're doing this right, that right, and you're not, there's no room for criticism. There's no room for critiques. How do you live like that? How do you get better? How do you know that you're in the wrong? You don't.
It does. I don't want to use the term obese because it hurts somebody's feeling. Well, then damn it, oh well. If it hurts their feelings, it hurts their feelings. But if they're obese, then they're obese. What do you want to do about it? What are you going to call it? You'd rather use the term fat-bodied? No, you're obese. I don't know what else to tell you.
You introduced yourself, you talked about being a health advocate. Does your advocacy include making sure that people are not discriminated against?
Without question.
So how do you do that for
advocate
people
for
in
that.
larger?
Does your advocacy include making sure that people are not discriminated against? That is a loaded question and an unrealistic question, because to a certain degree, anything and everything can be seen as discriminatory. We don't live in a society that's going to please every single person out there. By definition, technically, the house that I live in right now is discriminatory against anyone in a wheelchair because I don't have a ramp on my front porch. There are things in life that you're just gonna be discriminated against for. Okay, a clear example of this would be when you're at a water park and you're going on the water slide, and what do? They weigh you. You have to get weighed before you go on the water slide, because if you're too big, you're gonna break the damn slide. You're not gonna be able to slide down it. You're going to be discriminated against because of your weight. But the only reason that's a thing is because, like, it's proven, like, you're just big. That's why the scale is there. Or even a roller coaster. Before you get on a roller coaster, you have the test seat, so you can make sure you can fit in it. And if you're too big, you just can't get on the roller coaster, and that's going to be seen as discriminatory to some people.
Like, that doesn't even look remotely comfortable. It's like I could understand you wanting to live your life at that plus size. I don't think anybody, I ain't gonna say nobody should judge you for it, because everybody judges everybody. If you're being realistic with how society works, everybody judges everybody. Everybody has eyes, everybody has a brain. You would like to think that, to formulate opinions. So you're going to be judged regardless. But at the same time, doing shit like this where you know, I feel as though if you're a big person, there's something like a test seat, and you got no business even being in the test seat. You might break the test seat. I don't know. But it's just like being that big and then wanting to participate in the things of society that are for people who, you know what I'm saying, know how to control their forks and spoons. It's kind of crazy. You want to be included, and I feel like everybody should be included, but at the same time, in order to be included, you got to do your part. You got to put the fork down. You got to put the spoon down from time to time. Like, honestly, you really do, because I don't want to be on a roller coaster that end up fucking going off the rails because it's the weight distribution ain't being distributed properly. And then this shit just break down, or we flying off the rails, or we all just die, or we get stuck in the air because of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
People. But again, like I said before, we don't live in a society that can please every single body out there. That's not realistic. So no, I don't see how you can live in a society or be someone that can advocate for every single person to not be discriminated against when there's clear examples of that oftentimes being a thing. Another one being airplanes. If you are too big and you're spilling over into the next seat and you're just an inconvenience as an existence because you're that big.
I hear they trying to charge for 2 seats now, okay?
Of course you can be discriminated against. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And it's not the plane's fault for not making bigger seats to accommodate for you being super big, because the same thing applies to super tall people too. They're shit out of luck too on planes. And it's not even so much for just for the big people, little people too. If you are too skinny, if you're too thin, you can't get on a roller coaster. There's just safety precaution for some things, and at some point you're gonna be discriminated against. I don't know what to tell you. It reminds me of those content creators that just make content all about them not being able to find their sizes in certain brands that they love to shop at because they done got too damn big. You can't be mad that this clothing company doesn't have a 6X, 5X. That's ridiculous. At that point, you just need to lose weight. I'm not saying you have to be super skinny. That's alarming too, and that is a problem. Being anorexic, being super thin, that's a problem in itself. But being this big, it does bring up issues, and you're gonna run into scenarios where you're gonna be discriminated against, and that's just life. But I will say, if you are gonna be discriminated against, it needs to come with some sort of basis or fact behind it, like a scale before getting on a water slide. That's clear. Instead of just looking at someone and saying, no, you're too fast to get on this water slide, they're like, no, step on the scale, the slide's built for this, the engineers say this, you can't get on it because you too big. That's a clear representation of like cause and effect, I guess. But when it comes to Southwest, which you're about to get into, some of these gate agents are just looking at people and saying, you too fat, you can't get on the plane. Crazy.
At the Kansas City airport for my 6:30, 7 a.m. flight, checking my bags, right? And I was just checking in my bag at the priority lane because I fly priority. I fly all the time, right? A-list preferred, priority with everything else. Now, I understand Southwest changed their policy where, you know, if they feel like you might be big enough to need an extra seat, that they can ask you to pay for one. But I have never run into that.
See, I think that's kind of crazy.
I am becoming afraid of humans in this society. Just want to say that.
See, I think they need to see if you can fit in the seat, and if you are spilling over, then they can say, hey, in order for you to be on this plane, you need to like buy the extra seat that's next to you because it's not a full flight. Or they need to have the scale. You got the scale for the bags, get the scale for the people. Hey, like a roller coaster seat. Hello, you step on the scale, you too big to get on the plane. You gotta drive to your destination. I don't know to tell you. That makes more sense to me. Having the scale, it sounds crazy, but it makes more sense. Same like a roller coaster. If you're too big for the roller coaster, you can't get on. So if you're too big for the plane, you can't get on. But you can't just look at somebody and say that. You should at least be busting out the scale. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about that? It's pretty interesting, but if I'm thinking about the water slide scenario.
But I feel as though that tells you the trajectory. If we're not already there, where fucking America is going, where society is going, where our people are so big, we're becoming so big to the point where we gotta have fucking scales at amusement parks and water parks and airports and like what's next? They're gonna have scales at a dealership where obviously I don't think that it'll ever get that crazy because cars are heavy as shit, but at the same time you gotta be a certain weight to, you know what I'm saying, fit in this car. You gotta be a certain stature to fit in this car. You gotta be a certain weight to fit in this and fit in that. Like, I always knew this shit was bad. Like, if have y'all ever seen it? It's a fast food place that was popular on social media in like 2020 or 2021, where they said if you were like, they have this little like walk through scale thing. Like, if you could fit through this little lane, your meal is free, and if you can't fit through this lane, you gotta pay full price for your meal. Niggas are going there knowing that, like, imagine if society was in shape, them niggas would be out of business. There would be fucking free meals out the wazoo, but it's not, because our society is becoming the land of fat people. It's becoming the land of fat people who think being fat is okay when in reality it's not.
I mean, shit. What? I don't know what to tell y'all.
The lady at the counter had to go get her supervisor because they felt that I was too big to get on the plane without paying for 2 seats, when I fly weekly and sit in my seat just fine. And the lady had the audacity to say,
maybe you had a little extra food this week. Maybe it's like you starting to spill. I don't know.
I'm just concerned about the people sitting next to you for their comfortability. Well, what about my comfortability with the conversation having in front of all of these people?
You don't get to see, and he's saying, well, what about me? You don't get to have a what about me moment. What about you when you ordered fucking 2 large cheese pizzas in the same day? What about you? Like what about your decisions that led you to this point? You sit here and say, what about me? What about my comfortability? Bro, you would be more comfortable in a skinnier body. Let's be honest. You would be more you'd be more comfortable in a skinnier body, in a more toner body, in a more leaner body. You would be more comfortable. If we're talking about ultimate comfort, your lifestyle would be way more comfortable if you were in shape, if you were not fat. Let's be honest.
About how you think I'm too big to fly, when keep in mind, I know I'm a hefty guy, but I've lost over 60 pounds since Christmas.
That's
I fit
fire.
in the seat just fine. Everyone is comfortable. We're good.
Just because you can fit don't mean you're not interrupting somebody else's time on the plane. I done sat next to some big people before on the plane, and that was some of the worst flights in my life. I'm sorry. When I'm like squished over to the side and our thighs are rubbing. Why are our thighs rubbing on the plane? No. I do think what Southwest is doing, and I've seen a couple more videos like this where the gate agent's like, "No, you too big." That's a lawsuit. It sounds like a lawsuit. I don't know. And if they were to back it up, like that's crazy as hell. Had a sample seat, like the roller coasters here at the gate. Here's a sample seat. If you don't fit in this seat, then you gotta buy first or buy exit row or the seat next to you, or you just can't get on the plane. I don't know. But that this kind of discrimination, it does get very, very tricky.
You care so much about someone else's body in order to like try and argue against body positivity. Like say someone's like fat, obese, whatever, walking on the street, that doesn't actually affect you as a person.
It doesn't affect me as a person individually when I see a fat person, but when I see someone harping on about body positivity and loving yourself in your body, to a certain point, you are promoting harm. You are promoting a very, very unhealthy lifestyle, proven to be unhealthy, proven to be dangerous. If you're just out there telling people it's okay being big, love yourself being big, get bigger, stay big, it doesn't matter, that is dangerous.
And that's the thing. Like the people in the body positivity like lifestyle and movement and like those people in general, they think the issue that society has with them is the fact that they're just walking around all big. Gang, I promise you, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Like if we're being honest to a T, nobody cares that you're big. Nobody cares that you're plus size. Nobody cares that you're overweight. Nobody cares that you're obese. What we care about is that you're trying to have a platform that your main, well, not that you're trying to have a platform, but you're trying to grow your platform with the message that being big is beautiful, being big is okay. Like choosing to be obese is just okay as choosing to join a gym and have an active lifestyle and going running and going jogging and going hiking and keeping your body in it, like as if those are two sides of the same coin, and reality is not. One side of that coin promotes a active lifestyle, healthy living, long living, you know what I'm saying, and another side of that coin would hypothetically just be you shortening your lifespan, ruining your life experience, you know what I'm saying, to the point where you got to go to fucking amusement parks and step on scales before you can even go down water slides, you know what I'm saying. It's silly. That's the problem. The problem isn't that you're fat, it's the message behind your fatness, the message that you're trying to tell the world that, like, hey, this is lit, this is fire, you can be big like me and be happy. No, you can't. You can't.
It actually is. It actually does harm people. Again, same way being too skinny. Being too skinny is very harmful. I'm all for body positivity in the sense of loving the skin that you're in and getting away from this. You have to look like a chiseled model. No, like loving your body no matter where it's at in this average baseline of like a little below average, and then above average, loving your body in that. But if you are too skinny or you are too fat, there's no reason. Ooh, this is conversation sticky. There's no reason for you to be like positive in your body. Like you should work on that. You need to gain weight or lose weight. Because it's just not good. It's just not. It's just not good being dangerously skinny, and it's not good being dangerously big. None of that is to come off as offensive or hateful. It's just the fact of the matter. Not to say that average body people can't have health ailments either, and they aren't getting sick either. They are getting sick. But we already know being too thin is very, very dangerous for your body, and being too big is very dangerous for your body. So I think body positivity should lie in this. You don't have to look like a chiseled model to be happy with your body, to be healthy. No, it's to love yourself, love your skin, love how you are, love how you appear, you know, for all the small, medium, and large people. What do you think? Is that crazy? Is that like too harmful? I just feel like if we know it's literally harmful being super skinny and we know it's super harmful being super big, then like what's the problem with calling that out? So if you're out here rooting and tooting for body positivity and you're big AF, that is a problem. And I will speak out about it like in this video, because you're literally harming yourself. That is what that is doing. Are there...
Side note, because I had a little thought in my head before, I don't want to forget while he's talking. I don't know how long his tangent is going to be. But society is funny where we have this tendency to, I'm speaking in the internet world, you know what I'm saying? And we know that the internet world and reality is not always, they're not always aligned. But let's talk the internet world. We're so quick to shame people, talk shit about people, criticize people, critique people, you know what I'm saying, about how they look, like or like your face, how, like determining who's attractive, who's not, who's chopped, who's this, who's that. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you cannot control. Literally. We so quick to shame people how based on their height. If they're tall, they're short, you know what I'm saying? Those are things you cannot control. It's your DNA, it's your genetics. Gang, if you grow up and you ain't crack 5'11" or crack 6 foot, crack 6'1", it's nothing that you could do to change that. Well, they got limb lengthening surgeries now. That's retarded, but that's another topic. We choose to shame people about the shit that, like, literally it's what you're born with. You're not born fat. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You're not born fat. You're not born fat. Your fatness is a result of the decisions you make on a daily basis. The decisions you made throughout your life results in you becoming fat, results in you becoming obese, results in you becoming overweight. You following me? Those like literal obesity is based off of decisions. Now, where people get this shit confused, where it's like, I come from a history of fat. Yeah, you come from a history of fat people because the people before you made terrible health choices. You grew up around terrible health choices. So that's all you know are terrible health choices. But you get to a certain point where you get to a certain age where you got to do your own research. You got to do your own, you know what I'm saying, due diligence. You got to seek better. If your parents ain't put a fucking proper healthy meal in front of you, at some point in time you're going to control the dinner table in your life. At some point in time you're going to control the meals. Are you going to follow suit and you see that you're overweight, you see that you're wearing a fucking double or triple or quadruple XL in pants? You want to continue living that way? Or no, you can just say, all right, I may have grew up like this, but this is not the life that I want to live. I may grew up like this, but I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep struggling to put pants on. I don't want to keep having to go to 4 or 5 different fucking clothing stores just to find something comfortable for me to wear. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep living like, so you got to at some point make the conscious decision to, you know, control your life, control your eating habits. And it's not easy. It's not. I'm not a fat person. I'm not a big body person, but I struggle with the spoon myself. But the thing is, you got to have some form of self-control when it comes to this. And the society, I don't blame people. Like, they're not making it easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cost of food is relatively high, but at the same time, eating fast food or junk food actively, weekly, that shit adds up too. Like, it adds up just about the same as running to the grocery store where you think is super duper expensive to buy. And you don't even gotta buy the healthiest foods. Again, go to Aldi's, go to fuck Walmart. We don't do that. Go to Kroger, go to any other grocery store that you can. That's not an elitist, like a fucking Sprouts or whatever. And just, bro, ground beef, chicken breast, vegetables, get you some carbs. Like, people overcomplicate this shit and they think that it's harder to eat healthy when it's not. It's really not. It's not. It's not hard and it's not expensive.
Situations where you can be big and still be considered healthy because you don't have a lot of visceral fat, like sumo wrestlers or like big linebackers, sure, those scenarios exist, but for the average person out there, just no, that's not how this works.
And why when people bring up how skinny Hollywood is, y'all be talking about this is body shaming, we shouldn't be commenting on other people's bodies. Shut up. Yes, we should. Yeah, we should. It gets to a point when it is genuinely concerning for these people's health. So if multiple people are now concerned for these people's health, yeah, it should be talked about. It should. People shouldn't be extremely anorexic. I shouldn't be able to see your entire anatomy.
Hello.
Just like people should not be morbidly obese. You know, there's a show, My 600-Pound Life, because it gets to a point when it's dangerous for your life.
Hello. We should talk about it. We need to bring back the shaming, honestly, because the shaming can help save somebody's life. That does highlight the toxic side of body positivity, in that you can be so positive, you ignore what's actually harming somebody. That's stupid AF. Like, if someone's super skinny, that needs to be discussed. If someone's super big, needs to be discussed. Especially if you love them and you actually care about them, you should be helping them. That's hello. I feel like homegirl. It's just common sense at this point.
I'm being real. This whole body positivity thing, I feel like it has allowed a lot of y'all to be enabled to do shit that you probably shouldn't be doing. To have addictions that you probably shouldn't have. You know, like not eating whatever the fuck it is. It has gotten out of hand.
Like, we got niggas on TikTok, like, what is his name? Tiz Mala, who like, bro is like 300, 400, 500 pounds doing mukbangs. And it's like, if everybody in his comments wasn't just like I'm torn, because it's like, you're not supporting him because he's eating good food. You're supporting him because it's a fat guy ruining his life. Like, that's how I see it. That nigga is out there in the world consuming mass quantities of food. You would not do that. You wouldn't do that. But you can watch a video of somebody doing that and see that it's killing them. Slowly but surely, it is killing you. Like, the mass amounts of fat, sugar, sodium. That shit just like you see my face start like, that's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it's like, people are only doing this because they want the attention that come with it. And everybody on the internet is just feeding that. You're feeding that. You're feeding into that. I feel like niggas on the internet play a hand in ruining people's lives too. Because the people that, like, if they were getting no clicks, no views, no clout, no nada off that shit, they wouldn't be doing it. People do this shit on the internet for the algorithm, because the algorithm is what fuels everybody nowadays. You cannot let the algorithm fuel you, especially if you a mukbanger. You already 300 or 400, 500, 600 pounds. That shit is outrageous. If you had hella niggas in his comments shaming him, like, let's not be sensitive. If niggas in his comments were shaming him, he would not be posting. He would not be wanting to, like, oh yeah, I'm big and let me just keep eating because the people love it. No, that shit is nasty.
And I'm just going to be real and say that body positivity and body shaming mean absolutely fucking nothing if you look like you could drop dead tomorrow.
Exactly. If you look like you're about to drop dead, that is an issue within itself. And you don't need to be a doctor to see that. You don't need to be no licensed therapist to see that. No, it's clear as day what anorexia looks like and what obesity looks like. Both issues. Hello, they have names. They're both issues. And this whole body positivity movement becomes toxic when you ignore that. So, like, homegirl, I'm right there with her. We can talk about these things right here openly. It is what it is.
Hey, Delta, listen.
How privileged do you have to be in an airport lounge? Delta, your robes, they're too tiny. Like, you need some plus size robes. No, they don't. This is what I'm talking about, where it's fine. Like, this can be seen as, she's like, oh, I'm being discriminated against because the robes are too tiny. Girl, you too big. What do you want? Like, what do you want people to do? That's ridiculous for them to be.
Man, this is like irritating. At this point, nigga, we need plus size robes, plus size planes, plus size schools. We need plus size elevators, plus size fucking Ubers, plus size lifts. We need plus size lanes. For when they start making these plus size cars that's not gonna fit in just one lane on the road, we need plus size lane. Like y'all may not see it right now where society is going, but you know what I'm saying, if we allow this to grow in ways that are not appropriate, because let's end this by saying there's nothing wrong with body positivity, and let's not make body positivity just for plus size people. Like it's body positivity for plus size, small size, anorexic, even the generic body type. Body positivity means to love your body, but you're not gonna lie to me by saying you love your body by treating your body like shit, injecting your body with literal lard, with human crap, with DNA modified crap. You don't love your body. So why are you trying to make the world love your body, and you don't even love your body because you don't take care of it? Anyways, and I'll say this to say, if you call somebody obese and they feel some type of way, they're not happy with their body. They're not. A real obese person, a real eater, they're gonna be loud and proud. I'm fat and I'm proud. Yes, I'm fat, but no, people don't like being called fat. They don't like being called obese. They don't like being called overweight. They don't like when you point it out. They don't like when you ask questions about their lifestyle. You want to know why? Because they're secretly in shame. It's your boy RushMoreRick. We out of here. Deuces.